Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. Welcome. Today, I'm going to give you my custom gym metric system. So I'm going to give you my whole KPI thing, and this is how this is basically how I run the entire business, and not just one studio, but multiple studios. And it's something that's really, really, really easy to use. And I'm a spreadsheet geek. I love creating custom things. I feel like, if you can let the new people in, that'd be great. Josh or Carlene, as they come in on the Zoom call, just accept them when they come in there. So I'm a custom Google Sheets kind of guy. I feel like every single piece of software out there is very poor when it comes to determining your metrics and exactly what you need for your business and being able to see things simply and clearly. So I created something very custom. I've refined this over years, and I'm going to share it with you today. I'm going to share it how it works. And for those of you staying on it, what I'm going to do is just make sure by default, Josh, to mute everybody. And actually, I got it right here. You can always unmute yourself for questions. Throw them in the chat box. Please do that. If you're live on Facebook, try to drop them in the chat too. I'll be answering your questions as we go along with it. For those of you staying on, I'm actually going to give this to you for free. Okay. So I'm going to screen share this and get your head so I can see you. Excellent. Going to open up a chat box so I can keep track of your comments here. And guys, let me know what you use currently. Do you use a custom thing, or do you use something within your software? And if you use it within your software, let me know what that is too. Just throw the messages right down there so I can see. But this is it. So I do it in Google Sheets. Why? Because I've got multiple locations. I've got multiple GMs that run these sites or run the different locations. I want to be able to see exactly what they're doing. In fact, they send a weekly recap at the end of every single week, and it shows me exactly where we're at. If our month is looking a lot different, it takes 10 to 15 minutes a week to do. It takes 10 to 15 minutes monthly just to plan out your whole month. It's a huge time saver. So really all you have to do here, your big month goals, I want those in there. Usually you have 1, 2, maybe 3 things that you really have to get done this month. That's going to move the needle. You want that front and center every single time you open this thing up, because quite often we get caught chasing the small things, right? We get caught chasing the things that just aren't that important, and the big stuff falls through the cracks. So I have everybody set their month up by writing their 1 to 3 big things they need to do moving forward. Could be launching an ad campaign. It could be hiring somebody. It could be whatever it is for you. You need to create 3 business-to-business relationships. It could be you need to really get your game on with the organic stuff that you're doing for acquisition. Could be anything. But you want that top and center, writing in what your big things are. Now, if there are other smaller details that you want to keep track of, that's why I've got it in the notes screen. I can't stand having numbers and metrics all over the damn place. You can't get access to it quickly. You can't see what you need to do, and you're just kind of floundering that way. So All you have to do is fill out the yellow boxes. All the gray boxes and this whole thing will be done for you. So let me show you how easy this is. So yeah, the data will tell you where the gaps are in your business. It'll tell you exactly where the gaps are. The problem is, for most of us, we don't really know our metrics. We don't know what our ARM or our ACV is. We don't know how much each person is worth on a monthly basis. We don't know really how long they stay and what their lifetime client value is. We don't always know what our cost per lead is, our cost per acquisition is. That's very problematic because now we are just guessing. If you're investing in paid ads, whether you're running them yourself or you're having somebody else run them, it's really, really, really important to know your metrics, because if you know you're putting in $1 in this side of the machine, how much is coming out in the short term, right? Your short term, 30, 60 days. And then what is your estimated lifetime client value? What are they worth over the long haul? Because yeah, we want to get 100% to 300% of our money back on the front end. No doubt about it from paid ads. Doesn't always happen that way in certain markets and certain metrics. It doesn't mean you shouldn't always do that, though. If it's less than 1, it's not ideal. But if the average client value of that is 10 times that or 5 times that or 6 times that, it's going to pay off. It's worth it for you to go a little bit negative this month to come out ahead on the back end. And your business is your business. It's set up a little bit different. This will work whether you're large group, semi-private, one-on-one, a combination of all these things, whatever it is. Eric, what's ACV, average client value, per month? Some people use that metric. Some people use ARM, which is average revenue per member per month. Doesn't matter what it is. And then it's complicated because sometimes people do personal training packages. They don't do the monthly EFT. So sometimes it can be difficult to figure out that number. And quite often we're just operating our businesses and flying completely blind. This is going to take that all away. And it's going to take you 15 minutes to set up a month. It's going to take you 10 to 15 minutes a week, keep you on track of everything. So here's how I started off. Most of you, whether you're using MindBody, you're using Zen Planner, you're using Push Press, you're using the XYZ, whatever it is, FitHive, most of you can pull a report to get your EFT, your monthly recurring amount, MRR EFT, right? So say that's 22,000. That's how most gyms operate, but personal training packages, one-off things, you might have a few PIFs coming in this month, paid in fulls. So pull this number, put it in the yellow box for recurring revenue at the start of the month, okay? Then what you want to do is take a look at your paid in fulls. You want to take a look at one-off things. Maybe you're running a workshop. You have personal training packages that aren't automatically recurring that are going to renew. Your business is set up different from everybody else. It could be anything else. So projected old business. So you take your MRR and look at, hey, who else is set to renew for paid in fulls, for PT packages, whatever it is, and add it. So your projected old business. Out of all my current clients, what am I projecting to bring in this month? It's probably not going to be 35 grand on the dot. This is just a hypothetical here. Okay. Then how many new clients do you want to add? You know, in general, what it's worth for you in the first month. So you're going to put in your goal total monthly revenue to finish this month. Let's say for these purposes, 5 new clients you want to acquire this month. You have 35 grand in old business. So your total monthly revenue that you're trying to get, let's say it's an average of $1,000 that month, is going to be 40 grand is where you want to finish at. Okay. That's pretty easy. The other thing you have to put in there is the members you have at the start of the month. Okay. You only have to really get a tally of it in your starting month when you do this. Why? Because at the end of the month, this is automatically going to keep track of how many members you have at the end of the month, which you'll just copy and paste over to the next month. It's obviously very easy. The reason why we need to know the number of members at the start of the month is because this is going to keep track of the members you add, the members you lose, and the all-important churn number is derived from that. That churn number is incredibly important. Without that, we can't predict your metrics. We can't make really sound decisions. Now, some people will use length of engagement. That number is completely imperfect. It kind of sucks, actually, and we don't even need it. Churn is definitively calculable, way easier. And when we know your average revenue per month or your average client value per month, and we know your churn, Then we get your estimated lifetime client value. And those numbers are everything. Okay. So that's it. Like, that's all we got to put in. And some of you will do this at the start of the month. If you're running paid ads, you can just do it at the start of the month. You know what your monthly ad budget is. Some of you might wait till the end of the month because maybe you raise it or lower it throughout the month. But you can put in your monthly ad spend. Okay. If you're paying somebody to run your ads or do things, you can actually put the cost in there. And then you want to put your cost per lead. That's going to be done at the end of the month. So as we move through this, all you have to do is once a week. I used to have it where it's daily because I thought that would drive action. It's like, hey, I want you to report how many leads and closes and sales you had on a daily basis. But here's the thing. Life is messy. Business is messy. And sometimes you get behind on things. And the minute you get behind by something on 3 or 4 days, you completely abandon the process. And then you can't remember what days were what. And then it's lost. Your numbers are screwed. So at month close or at week close, you're just going to update this. For us, we run Sunday to Saturday. So my manager will do this either on Saturday when they close up or Sunday and report it. So let's look below, and then we'll come back up to the top to see how this feeds the data in there. So weekly reporting. Me as a manager, I don't like surprises. If we're having a crappier month than we anticipated because of XYZ happened, these renewals didn't pull through, or this didn't happen, I want to know of it ahead of time. So while we're predicting 40 grand as a month finish, I want to know where we're at. So if it's just you as the owner operator, this is a good practice for you to do. But how much revenue is in month to date at the end of week 1, 2, 3, 4, and the remainder? And then where do you think you're going to project the month to finish? So if new business is off to a rock star start, cool. I think we're actually going to predict more. But in this case, right, let's say week 2, you know what? Old business fell off. I think we're actually going to have a worse month than I thought. But then say during that week, we pick up new business more than thought. I'm like, wow, no, it's looking good. I think we're actually going to finish a little above where I thought we were at the beginning of the month. And I have my guys just screenshot this and send it over to me weekly. That way I get a pulse on where everything is at. So update it weekly, right? That's it. We know the percent to goal, where we're at as we move along. Now, this next section, this KPI action tracker, this is optional. So we do not just paid. In some places, we don't even do paid where I don't need to. But we drive, like, the business is driven on key performance indicators. Some of this might be for you that you want to track. Some of it might be for your people. But, we teach an organic acquisition system that works really well. It just takes some effort. And so we make relationship deposits. We can make an offer to hop on a quick phone call, right? It could be you want to post 3 times a week or email your list 3 times a week. Maybe that is a goal for you, or twice a week, right? Maybe you have a goal of getting 4 reviews in for the month. Why? Reviews really boost SEO. They're one of the most powerful things you can do consistently over time, right? Maybe you want to do business to business outreach and you're like, hey, I want to hit up 1 or 2 businesses a month. Maybe you're running our plays on how to overcome the gym session, right? Our 5-mile celebrities, becoming the 5-mile celebrity. Everybody can become a celebrity in your 5-mile radius. It's not that hard. It's not very expensive. You can do most of it free with some boosting. Everybody should know you in a 5-mile radius. There are a lot of things. I've listed like 13 different things that you can do to make that a reality. And maybe you're picking 1 or 2 of these and you want to make sure it gets done, whether it's you alone or whether it is your people, you want to hold your people accountable. You can create custom KPIs for this stuff. Maybe you're going to get the QR offer exploder out to 10 different businesses in the acrylic sleeves where they're just like, oh yeah, I want to try this, scan it, landing page, they book a consult automatically. Maybe you want to find 5 businesses. Cool. Put that in there at the end of week 1, 2, 3, 4, put in how many you actually did. If you got notes in there, describe it, keep your notes there. Everything's in one place for you to run your business. Okay. So this is optional. You don't have to do it. But if you're running organic plays and if you're doing the right things, chances are you should be tracking this important information. Now, let's get down to it. I like to separate organic and paid leads. They are really 2 different worlds. Organic leads are so much hotter. These are your high ticket clients. These are the people who are going to come in. They're going to take your most expensive options. They're going to have the longest commitments. They're going to stay the longest. Organic leads are ones that come in through your website. They're the ones that, as the 5 Mile celebrity, they're connecting with the messages you put out, the content you put out. These are your high ticket clients. You guys know if they come in natively through your website versus a Facebook lead ad, the quality of that lead is drastically different, insanely different. So I like to separate organic and paid. And also, why do I do that? I really want to know my return on ad spend. I don't give a shit what your cost per lead is. Yes, it is relevant to some extent, but what I care about is, are you getting a return on ad spend? Cost per lead is overrated. You could have a lot of holes in this process. You could be getting cheap cost per leads, but you can't get anybody in the seats. You have a super high no-show rate, and you're not closing that well in these cold Facebook leads. I don't care what the cost per lead is. I care how much money you put in, how much money do we get out in the short term and the long term. So we separate that. At the end of the week, all you or your staff member, your GM has to do is put in how many leads did you get? How many consults did you have? How many shows did you have? How many closes did you have? And then you're going to record either the one-time package revenue, or if you signed them up for monthly recurring, right, what that dollar amount is. So that's all I want. Keep track of your organic leads. Keep track of your paid leads if you're running paid ads. Some of you are not. Now, to make it easy at the end of the week, because you're like, oh, you have to look back. How many did I have? Just keep track of your consults here, right? Keep track of the date. Keep track of their name and whether they were from Facebook ads, a website, something else, okay? This is good to look back on too, so you know where the majority of your leads are coming from, but just write some notes on them. And then at the end of the week, when you're closing out on Saturday, okay, all right, just fill it in over here. That's how many I had. Very easy. Now, if you have multiple locations like I do, or if you have GMs running the majority of it, this is super, super useful to make sure that you're on top of everything. Jason, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. So that's it. So it's really, really easy to do that. And then we know our total, like, hey, how many leads do we get across the board, right? To become clients, your lead to close ratio, your rate, and also your show to close rate. Out of the people that do show up for the consults, how many do you close? So your closing rate is important, but also the lead to close percentage is very important to see. That tells us a lot on a very high end. Okay. Now your paid is going to likely be lower, a lot lower than organic. And that's why we really want to separate these to get a really good idea of how your business is operating and where your weak points are. Okay. This box, you have to do nothing. Remember, gray boxes, it's all done for you. This will combine your total acquisition so we can see it all together, what it looks like. You don't have to do any work on it. Lastly, we want this to really track our monthly recurring revenue as well, any changes to it, okay? So you can keep track of upgrades and downgrades at the end of each week too. And again, same thing. If you have an upgrade, a downgrade, a cancellation, write their information here. And at the end of the week, fill in the week 1, 2, 3, 4. And if there's a 5th week, the remainder, and it will tally everything. So if you had an upgrade, this person upgraded, add an extra $300 a month, cool, put that. If it was a downgrade and say it was you lost $300 a month, put a negative in front of it. Okay. Pretty easy. Now, if you lost somebody, they canceled, you write how many clients canceled and what the recurring amount was lost from it. Okay. If it's just package stuff, no need to put in the recurring amount that's changed. Same thing here. If they added on 4 PT sessions, but it's not recurring, no need to notate it right there. No need to notate it right there. Because what this will do is keep track of your monthly recurring revenue. A lot of you like to keep track of that, right? And build MRR over time, or EFT, whatever you call it. So all you got to do at the end of, let's recap. At the end of every week, hey, revenue month to date, where do I think I'm going to finish? Could be right on track, could be higher, could be lower, depending on how that month is rolling with old and new business. Optional for you to track KPIs for you or your staff. There's a lot of different columns. You can totally customize it. You cannot do it at all. All you got to do at weekly, how many leads, consult, shows, closes for organic and paid. And then if you have any membership changes or cancellations, notate that. That's it. That's 10 to 15 minutes of work per week at the end of the month. And this will tally up. So by the end of the month, we're going to compare our goals to our actuals, right? For new business and our total monthly revenue. In this case, goal revenue, 40K, ended up at 41.5, 104% to goal. Great. We know we added 6, but lost 4 members out of 79. So we finished at 81. So that helps us, again, get our predictive metrics. So we know the revenue, we know how many clients. Now we know our average revenue per member per month, or average client value is $512. We know our churn is 5.1%. That all important churn number, massively important. When I see that number get really high, there's something broken in the system that we have to fix. We can't just throw more leads at you. It's not going to work. Okay. So we've got to fix what that is. This will also give us our estimated lifetime client value. This is really good to pull back. If you're doing paid ads, it's scary. And what we do is we don't really know our metrics. So as soon as we get an inkling paid ads aren't working, we want to hit the eject button. Oh, it's not working. Shut it all off. That may or may not be the case. Because such a low percentage of like meta ads actually come across the board, it just feels like we're losing all the time. But again, if you're following let me go to it. If you're following like our high ticket framework too, where you've got, high, mid, and low ticket offers, sometimes it takes one person getting across the board to make your entire return on ad spend. And it might feel like you're losing and failing, but you're actually getting a positive ROI from one person on the short end, let alone when you look at the estimated lifetime client value, what the average spend is going to be. So we just need to know these numbers. So at the end of the month, make sure to write in your monthly ad spend, your total ad spend, your cost per lead. Then it spits out what's your cost per acquisition. Okay. What's your cost per acquisition? And then we know your front end revenue per acquisition. So if it costs you $500 to acquire that lead, okay, we can also account for it if you pay somebody to do it. In this case, let's say we're paying somebody $12.50 a month to manage and run all that. Well, my cost per acquisition plus the cost of the labor to run that is $11.25. The front end is $10.50. So my short-term return on ad spend, the return on ad spend itself is 210%. Pretty good. If I include the cost to run it, it's at 93%. Is that still a good thing? Yes, because look at my long-term return on ad spend. Knowing my metrics and numbers, it's 900%, not 93%. So very important to know something like that. You see how well you did in new business for the month. $5,200 in organic new business, $2,100 in paid new business for the month, for a total of $7,300. And then it keeps track of our recurring revenue. So it was $22K at the start of the month. We added $1,800. We actually lost $2,100 due to all of it. It came out a little bit lower, right? So it doesn't mean we're sliding backwards. It's just MRR. You guys all run businesses differently. Some of you are exclusively on MRR. Makes it pretty easy. Makes it easy for sure. Some of you have MRR, but you also have PT packages. You also have paid in fulls. So this will work no matter what model you have. That's why I designed it that way. So all of you can use this. Now, different tabs at the bottom. We got January through December. And in the annual totals, and remember, stay on because I'm going to get you this for free. So stay on. I'll drop the link in a little bit. Annual totals. This is the cool thing because listen, if I had a horrendous month and lost 8 people, this churn would be 10.2%. But that's not that reliable for 1 month. I might have 2 months where I only lose 1 or 2 people each. So over time, your ARM or ACV, your churn, and your estimated lifetime client value, and your average amount of new business, your leads, your closing percentage, your lead to close percentage, they're going to get more and more and more and more and more accurate over time. So what I have done, and it's no more work for you, I've got an annual totals at the back end of this. And it will take every single sheet and transfer it over and plug it in for you. So we know all of these metrics, goals and actuals, that's important to see right up front. Here's my goals. How did I actually do on it? In terms of revenue, new clients, all of that stuff. You can see your members, how many members you have over time, added, lost, all that kind of stuff. You know, your new business, your average new business. And this gets, looking at averages, this gets really, really accurate. You see your total for a year, you see your average, your recurring revenue. You can monitor your recurring revenue as the year goes on, your predictive metrics. This is the important part, right? Predictive metrics. How does that change throughout the year? Your averages are going to be insanely accurate, and your return on ad spend, you're going to be able to separate your organic and paid leads and acquisition, total combined, and also your membership changes and cancellations. So it will do all that work for you. So zooming out real quick, 15 minutes to set up the month. Okay. Look at what you did last month, analyze your numbers. Where are your gaps? Where are your big gaps in your fall offs? What can you do about it? What are the big things, the needle movers? Do you need to hire somebody? Do you need to switch gears and do more of the 5 mile radius? Become more famous in your 5 mile radius, become the celebrity within that. Do you need to, whatever it is, 1 to 3 things. That's it. 1 to 3 big things. Write your notes on it. Maybe you got some strategy and tactics you're going to do on that. Fill in these yellow numbers here right at the top, and you're set. That's your month. You know exactly what you're doing. And then every week, fill in these yellow boxes, your weekly reporting, KPI action tracker, keep track of your leads and any membership changes or cancellations. That's it. 10 to 15 minutes a week, and you have everything you need to know in your business just at a glance and seeing these averages over time. So, not the most exciting stuff, guys, but I talk to gym owners every day, and so many of us don't know these important metrics, and it makes it very difficult to know what to do with them. It also makes it very difficult to see if they're doing the work or their employees are doing the work. And it also makes it very difficult for them to just move ahead without these numbers. It's not sexy, but I made this as simple as possible to give us everything we need with as little effort as possible. As little effort as possible. So some of you are probably going to have some clarification. There's a good amount of you on Zoom, and I can see the chat. What questions do you have for me or how this is used right off the bat? We'll open up for other questions after. So you can always stay on after this. And if you got a question on paid ads, if you have a question on organic stuff, we can get into that. But write questions now. I'll give you some time. We'll hit them. And what I got a request. I got an email request too, because somebody wanted me to explain this. And I've been out for a couple days, and they said, can you just do it on the live? I'll be on the live. I said, no problem. So we're really known for our high ticket launch program, right? And he wanted me to explain what our mastermind was, because we have really switched into a mastermind model over the last 4 weeks. And tons of people are really excited about it, but I haven't really talked about it. So give me 5 minutes and I'll explain that. And then Josh, don't let me forget to drop the link to this KPI document for everybody so you can file and make a copy. You guys know we're kind of known for a high ticket launch. We help you really explode profits by bolting on high ticket and mid ticket offers in addition to what you currently do. So it's very intensive. It's a 12-week program. It's something where we meet with you 3 times a week. Let's see if I can find a summary here. There you go. So you're getting our core curriculum, but this started with Dave and I launching this at the Glendale, Arizona location, and it completely blew up our locations. And then we had 3 gym owners who were like, hey, what are you doing to get these results? Can you explain it to me? So I hopped on the phone, explained it to them. And they're like, holy shit, can you help me do this in my business? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, your model's a little bit different than mine. I have ideas on how I would do something like that, but I've never done that. And they're like, well, would you be willing to? And I asked Dave, hey, can you help me teach him how to sell this thing? I'll help him build it out. We had 3 times a week calls to train our people on how to build, sell, fulfill, renew these high ticket offers. And so I said, come onto these calls and I'm going to help you bolt it onto your business, how I think it should be done. Long story short, they blew up. They referred a bunch of other gym owners. They blew up. And all of a sudden, this coaching business kind of came out of nowhere. That being said, there's an incredible amount of work to do. And if we zoom out and look at all the other things you need to do, like here's my dream for you guys is I want all of you to build indestructible wealth where you're not worried month after month or quarter after quarter, year after year. Can I keep doing this? Is there enough money to get through retirement, right? Can I build the lifestyle that I want, which is why we all got into business for ourselves. Otherwise, we would just be doing this for somebody else. So there's three kind of parts that I'm passionate about: making big, sexy profits out of your gym. I want you guys making not just $100,000, but 200 grand and up from your gyms, whether you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even more. Okay. I want you to shield that money, protect it from yourself from doing stupid stuff, but I want you to protect it from the IRS. I want you to earn short-term returns while you figure out what are you going to invest in that will give you mailbox money. And that cycle is really important. 1, 2, 3. Now, a lot of you are in one, right? Like, we still have to do more work on the business. It might be running well, but we're going to take you from good to great. Some of you are struggling too. We've helped a lot of you. So whether you're struggling or doing pretty well, we want to get your business take it from good to great. And a few big things in there is dual lead flow, organic plus paid. Never rely on just paid. The bottom can fall out anytime. Eric, I know you have to bounce. Eric is a really good example of somebody who's become the celebrity in his local area. And he's not reliant on Facebook ads. While a lot of us are struggling with what's happened in the last 6 to 10 months, I would say, he's got no problem. And it's because he's done a lot of these things in this model, which is great. So dual lead flow, paid and organic. I was talking to somebody else to call it porganic. I'm like, well, that sounds a little gross, but you want to be able to do both. Okay. Winning with price, leading with price. A 3-tier pricing strategy is great for most of you. Some of it's 2, but you have to lead with price. The low volume model is high volume, low price is really hard. Really hard. There's a couple instances where it still wins in certain markets, but it's really hard. Lead with price, because then you automatically need a fraction of the leads you used to. Then you have to build your team. There's a lot of stumbling blocks in building your team so you can start to automate your profits. But 30 to 50% net profit is where I want you, depending on Miles. Close a $2,700. Hell yeah. Awesome. Back end offer is that a back end offer, Miles? So Miles started, yes. Oh, sweet, man. So high ticket offers, people need more than I didn't bother to explain it, but you can do that for people coming in to your gym, but you can also do it for existing clients. A lot of times we just sell workouts, and you can sell your nutrition, accountability, your mentorship for $2,700, right? And when you do that, God, it just catapults you. Less is more. More money with less clients, super important. Excellent job, Miles. Initial oh, great. So what he's saying, he has a 6-week offer. A lot of you guys have a 6-week challenge, right? That's his mid ticket. There's a high ticket, a mid ticket, and then just like the workouts only is the low ticket. He sold the mid ticket initially, and then later on renewed them and upgraded them into the high ticket 9-week online program. $2,700 for 9 weeks, guys. That's the power of this stuff. So what is that? 2,700 divided by 9 weeks times 4.3333. That's $1,300 a month, ladies and gentlemen. You sell a couple high tickets a month. Holy shit, does it make your life easier? Wow. So that's what we teach in the high ticket launch. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But yeah, step 1 is big, sexy profits. High ticket is one of the best ways that you can get there faster. Step 2, shield your money. Step 3, invest in assets, right? And that's what I'm passionate about. This is a cycle. You just keep that going. And you can take the profits of your gym. You can invest it in real estate. You can invest it in stocks and bonds. I don't care what it is. I teach my strategies behind that. But build some assets, and you really look at what you can do and the cash flows that you can build with just 3 years of hard work, 4 years of hard work, taking the profits, investing it in assets. It's huge. So that's what I'm passionate about. I want to help you be successful, not just in your gym, but in your life, so you and your family can live the life that you want. I've been broke as shit for my first 5 to 6 years in business. Sucks. It sucks. But if you apply yourself and learn the right strategies, learn the right tactics, learn the shortcuts, work fast, man, you can do some outrageous things. It's really cool. So that's the stuff I like to teach. And so, yeah, it was Matt who would email me, can you go over this on the call? So our high ticket launch, I kind of talked about that, right? It's, 12-week program. This is what we're known for. We're seeing you 3 times a week on live calls, 2 times on sales calls where we're teaching you how to sell this thing, iron out your pitch, your prices, your offers, all that kind of stuff, handling objections, downselling to a mid-ticket just like Miles did. You can sell it on the back end of the high ticket. How do you take your existing people who need more than workouts and upgrade them? We do all that stuff. Teach you exactly how to fulfill it. Our system is super easy and we just give it to you, right? And we do this over 12 weeks. And we have outrageously good results. We also bring in the acquisition for you. Our organic acquisition system, you don't even need to do paid ads on this. We'll teach you exactly how to do that. So that's awesome. But everybody wants to keep working with us afterwards. And some people aren't even ready for this. We have other things to do. Some people need help building their teams. They need help with paid acquisition. They need help becoming the celebrity in their 5-mile radius, whatever that is. Some of them just don't want to be on their own damn islands, operating their businesses by themselves, which is lonely and it's horrible. I hate it. So we came up with our mastermind and we had to answer some questions because I've been in a lot between Josh Price, like, he's our head of success here. Josh, you've been in a boatload of masterminds. I've been in a boatload. Dave has, Will has. I'd venture the 4 of us. I know at least with Dave, Will, and myself, we've spent well over $300,000 in different ones. There's pros and there's cons of some. You spent, between you, we're probably above 400K, I bet. But we have a lot of experience. Some of them are great, some of them are not so great. And all of them, it's like, okay, this is good, but I don't like that. That's not very helpful. And so we had to how can we design this to be the best thing in the world? So how do we get you the knowledge that you need? But then how do we help you take that knowledge and put it into action and hold you accountable to it? To make sure, because we all can benefit from accountability, all of us. And then how can we provide that community where you're not just hopping on calls with 40 other people? How can we help you develop close relationships with people who will be some of your best friends moving forward? Like Jason, great example. Jason and I met in a different mastermind, and we just went to Cabo a month or so ago. We took a trip to Cabo with, I think it was 6 or 7 other people. And it was a friggin' blast. He's putting on his sombrero. There you go, man. I love it. Josh, we met in a different mastermind, right? You flew out here to week and stayed in my Flagstaff cabin. We got shit tons of this work done, which was amazing. These relationships should be some of the best in the world that you have. So how do we create these tight relationships where you're going to be meeting each other's family? You're going to be going on vacation together. You're going to be moving forward together because you will go further with amazing freaking people who are driven. It's just osmosis. You've heard that. Is it Zig Ziglar? Like you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, something like that. It's so true, man. And it's really hard to do that locally sometimes. And in these kind of groups, these masterminds, being around badasses who are doing awesome things, they just pull you along with them. And conversely, you're also the inspiration for somebody else, which is really cool. It's a give and get back kind of thing. So it's like, how do we do that? And so, yeah, we have a whole awesome university that's built on every solution. So if you're struggling with churn, if you're struggling with lead flow, you can go and get all these different tactics and strategies really quick. But then, and yeah, we've got our operating system, this KPI tracker, which I'm just giving you guys all too. But it's how do we layer in support and community? We have 3 layers. So, and if you're wondering too, the high ticket launch program, instead of selling that and then getting you into a mastermind, here's the big decision that we made. That's fine for some of you. Others are not quite in a great financial position for it, right? So here's what we decided. Instead of complicating it, we decided to give our high ticket launch program for free inside of our mastermind, which was one of the greatest things we did. We just made that switch, what, Josh, around 4 weeks ago-ish?
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's super. So this is why they wanted to talk about it, because we haven't really talked about this stuff. So Matt, I hope you're watching this one, or you get to watch the recording, because you're the one who asked me to do it. But yeah, so our high ticket launch program is not a separate program anymore, and we sold this for quite a lot before, worth every penny. You're coming out of there with a huge ROI. But shoot, it's that downswing for somebody is hard to do if you're in a sticky cash flow situation, which happens in business. So legitimately, it's just, we're like, let's just do the right thing. Everybody wants to work with us for longer. They need more than just a high ticket launch. There's so many more problems to solve. Let's just give it for free. And so we have a 12-month mastermind and we give the whole damn thing for free. Some of you will go right into it. Some of you, it's like, we need to do these things over the next 30, 60 days. Then we'll get you enrolled in it because we got to fix this X, Y, and Z problem first. Or maybe you're hiring a salesperson and you want us to train them along with you at the same time. Okay. So, but you get that for free, which is cool. But the layers of it after high ticket launch, which is only 8 to 10 people at a time. That's how you get in the reps and learn the hell out of this stuff and get really damn good to sell high ticket. We're going to put you on a grow team, and it's 8 to 10 people, 8 to 10 other gym owners or fitness professionals. So it's a small group that's going to be similar model or similar revenue. So you're going to have similar problems and issues that you work with, and you're going to develop a really tight relationship with these guys. You're going to have your own calls. You're going to have your own WhatsApp communication channels, and you guys are going to support each other. And on those calls, you might be dealing with an obstacle in your business. We're going to have you go to the Legends library, tell you exactly where you need to go to solve that problem, bring it back to discuss in the group to help you fine tune that into your specific business and troubleshoot it. Bounce opinions back off of, give each other support. These are people that eventually you're probably going on vacations with. A layer above that, Taylor Hutchinson, our head accountability coach, he's going to make sure you're filling out your report cards and your numbers and your metrics. Because here's what happens. When people struggle, that's when they disappear from groups. We withdraw. It's sometimes maybe we're embarrassed. Sometimes we're just overwhelmed and we freeze. It can be a number of things, but we're going to make sure that doesn't happen to you because that happens all the time. I've been in groups where I've fallen off because I was struggling or I wasn't keeping up with the work. And maybe I needed to modify my plan or something like that. But I started to withdraw. Nobody reached out to pull me back in. And that didn't serve me. So we have that layer. And then finally, Josh Price, right? Josh Price is the head of client success. I can't tell you, Sydney, you were on a couple weeks ago, right? You were on a 2-3 weeks ago, and you said, like, you have had a very you've been working through a lot of difficult stuff. And you said you hopped on that one call with Josh. And what were you saying about it?
It absolutely transformed my life. I've been working my literal ass off to do the 5 mile radius celebrity. I just got back from my 2 hour rollerblading, and I have people like not pulling me over, but like honking at me, like clients, former clients. People are like, "Oh my gosh, Sydney!" Like in the grocery store, everybody knows who I am. Um, Tragically in the hospital, everybody knows who I am. So like even when you're suffering loss and stuff like that, this community was so supportive. And Josh really, my phone's dying, so I'm gonna get this really quick. Josh poured into me so hard. There was like just a moment where, since I'm barely new into my career, I'm almost on my 5 year mark here. Um, Josh was like, "Well, do you belong here?" And it caused me to reevaluate, like, fuck yeah, I do. Like, absolutely. And then like that just gave me so much spark, so much heat. And then like the workshops were so difficult and so hard because like when you're not feeling like you have that value, it's really difficult to like ask for that money and know your worth, know your value. But these people gave me the courage to be like, 2 grand, that's nothing. Like 2 grand, like it's an investment in your health. It's an investment in yourself. Like it's not about me, it's about you. And like I'm just going to help you get from A to B. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to hold your hand the entire way there. And I've been able to close almost every person who's been put in front of me. All of my classes are fully booked. Like it's like Josh pouring into me, and then like Dave Best holding me accountable to like making a goddamn schedule. Like that was terrifying. Now I have alarms on my phone to eat. So so this has completely transformed like my personal lifestyle. And like I'm just like honored to be a part of PT Legends, like for real.
It's awesome. Like, and so Sydney ran runs a Fit Body Boot Camp, right? And so it's just used to selling large group is what it is, you know? And she's like, I don't know if I can do that. It's hard. It's like, how does anybody even ask for that? And building up your confidence, and it's awesome. And to see how you have changed has been absolutely incredible. And the level,
Thank you.
and thank you, Sydney. And that's important for people to hear, because we didn't even set out to do this, guys. Like, we didn't even set out to build a coaching company or a business or a mentorship business. It wasn't even on the radar. It just kind of happened. You know, I make my money through my gyms, but I struggled for over 5 years and nearly went bankrupt on it. Luckily enough, I had some awesome people that support me to make up for some of my mistakes. We figured shit out, and we invested in ourselves and spent probably way too much money in coaching and this and that, but we figured stuff out and we got to the other side. Right. And now we're doing shielding money and building the assets and passive revenue and mailbox money. That's freaking awesome. But it's really cool to give back. And I'm glad you were on, Sydney, because like, people have to see, like, it's different. The support in the community, you know, at the end of the day, wow, it's everything. It's the people. And this is important stuff. Jason just shot a win too. He said he sold a 3K sale a couple hours ago. Helps recoup the ad spend when we have a low show rate. Hell yeah. Like, when you have a high ticket offer, one, you know, $3,000. All right. That covers everything for the month on the short term. And then again, what's the long term on that, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I can't say enough about Josh. Josh and Taylor and Dave and the team, we fucking care. It's a big deal to us. You know, it's a lot of things out there. We talked about this, Josh, when you were here. So many different models are designed just to extract the most amount of money as they can in the shortest amount of time possible, and then burn that bridge. Well, I don't really give a shit about your results. It's just so many things are out there designed like that. It's just a totally different experience here. It's a totally different experience here. And that's not how I want to do business. You know what turned me off on that a lot was when I was actually the fitness director for Lifetime Fitness at a club. I was a trainer, assistant manager, and then I ran the department. And they put so much freaking pressure on goals, revenue, sell ancillaries, and closeouts. I don't care how many days a week you work. You are working the last 3-4 days of every single month to hit goal. And what they have you do is start piffing out things. They have you start dropping your pants, giving a lower rate to get people to renew early or for big amounts of stuff just to clear your goal that month. Well, what that does is set you behind for the next several months. And that pressure builds over time. And it's a very stressful job when it shouldn't be. And it's just a clear. And then what happens is your best performers leave. That's why I left. I'm like, how long can I keep doing this? I can't even do this another 6 months. I got to get out of here. And I found a shitty failing business and I bought it. That was the start of my first location. I was desperate to get out of there. And I went from making like 90 grand a year. I was making good money at that point. I was working like a dog. And now I'm making negative $2,000 a month. But I couldn't keep selling shit I didn't believe in. And I couldn't keep sacrificing long-term value for short-term gain. This month. I hate that. Let's do it the right way. Let's be ethical. Let's not sell shit we don't believe in, because I'm horrible at that. I can't do it. So we really went to the drawing board and like, how can we deliver the best experience we possibly can? And so these are different layers of support. Josh hits the 911 calls when people need it. Sydney needs something. She hops on with Josh, and holy shit, it can change everything. Sometimes you just need somebody to help you out a little bit in between the years. I don't know anybody else better in the world to do that than Josh. And beyond, you know, our high ticket launch, we're with you 3 times a week, weekly with 101s, 2 sales calls. It's a lot. And then beyond that, yeah, we've got calls 3 times a week. We've got things on tactical Tuesdays. We get really good at sales on Fridays. And then we rotate between building your pipelines, organic content for lead gen, all these kind of things. And so that's a lot of what we do inside of our mastermind. Our Grow Mastermind, it's just a lot. It's a lot. So you get high ticket launch for free, which we sold anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 over the years. It's literally free. And this mastermind is not very expensive either. Why do we do this? Because it's the right thing to do. it's the right thing to do. And there's a lot of gyms out there who need the help, but are scared because like, I don't think I can afford it. We made all of this affordable. So that's the coolest thing. But your Grow Team Masterminds, 8 to 10 people. We have monthly workshops on top of all our calls, which are 3 times a week. This is wrong. I need to update this. Like I said, we just switched to this a few weeks ago. So not all these things are completely accurate in here. We do an annual in-person event as well, the Legends University, with everything done for you content, which we give you. Like literally, you just copy and paste, change it to your specific avatar, but we even give you the Canva links so you can drop your photo in there, right? All these different things. I could be here for another hour if I showed you everything that you get in it. But the community, this is what I'm talking about. Don't underestimate the community and the value of being around these awesome people who you're going to develop relationships with and lean on. Okay. So anyways, I wanted to explain that. I am way over that I thought on time. I need to get you this template. I promised you this for free. And I'll tell you, hang on for a second. If you want to hop on a call and see if this mastermind is something that's up your alley, it's not even a sales call. You can book a 15-minute call with us. Tell us where you're at in your business model, your obstacles, your struggles, and we can kind of talk about what we would do in your situation. And if you want to book an actual call with me to see if this is going to be a good fit for you, we'll do that. And I'll give you an answer, no bullshit. I don't invite everybody in because sometimes I say, I'd rather see you do X, Y, Z first, then come back. And sometimes a lot of times it's a green light, but it's not a sales call you be hopping. I'll give you that in a second, but I want to promise this to get out. Copy paste. Okay. I'm throwing it right there. Josh, are you on? Maybe I can do it on Facebook. Maybe it's going to let me do it on the live here, but sometimes it blares my own voice in a thing. If you're watching on Facebook, I will dump it in there afterwards. Oh, here it is. I can get it from here. That's pretty cool. Copy, paste. So what you need to do, click on that link, then go to File, right up here. File, make a copy. So don't try to edit this one. It's going to say you don't have permission. So go to File, make a copy, and then this thing is yours. Okay, it's going to dump it in your Google Drive. It's yours. You can edit it. Just take that free. Okay. Those of you who want to hop on a 15-minute call, let me see. I should have, boom, right here. Okay. So again, I haven't updated anything. Are you ready to bolt on high ticket? Yes. A lot of you are going to bolt on high ticket. Some of you, or it's just going to be for the mastermind, whatever. This QR code. So HTTPS, ptlegends.com/quiz. That'll kind of give us some information on what your business model is, where you're at, what your obstacles are. Then you can book a 15-minute call with us. That's going to be with Craig, who's also on this call, and he'll answer your questions, figure out where you're at. If you want to chat about a mastermind, see it further, he'll book an appointment with me. And thank you for dropping that. And then the QR code, if you're watching on your laptop, you can just do that right from your phone. But yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to get through. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.